Have you ever been scrolling through your phone late at night and suddenly felt like everyone else is living a better life than you? Your friends on a beach vacation. Someone else just bought a new car. Another person you barely know just got engaged. And there you are, lying in bed, the glow of your screen on your face, feeling that strange little twist inside your chest. It's not jealousy exactly. It's something quieter, sneakier, that voice whispering, "You're missing out." We all know this feeling. It's called FOMO, the fear of missing out. But what if I told you this fear isn't just a product of social media? It's wired deep inside your psychology. A survival mechanism that once helped us stay alive, but now it's quietly eating away at our peace of mind. Let's explore why your brain can't resist FOMO and how understanding it might just free you from it. Picture this. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors lived in small tribes. Your entire world was maybe 50 to 100 people. If a few of them found a new food source and you weren't there, you could starve. If others were forming alliances and you weren't included, you might lose protection, status, or even your life. Back then, missing out could literally mean death. So our brains evolved a radar for social belonging, a built-in alarm that screams, "Something's happening without you." That alarm helped us stay connected and aware. But in the modern world, that ancient alarm is now being pulled every second of every day. We see hundreds of lives, events, and opportunities that seem just out of reach. Our primitive mind can't tell the difference between real danger and someone's weekend brunch. But here's where it gets interesting. Psychologists say that FOMO isn't really about missing out. It's about not feeling enough. It's not the party you weren't invited to that hurts. It's the thought, "Why wasn't I invited?" It's not that your friend got promoted. It's that voice saying, "Maybe I'm falling behind." You see, FOMO feeds on comparison, and comparison is the thief of peace. In a world where we can see everything, our sense of enough keeps shrinking. Every scroll, every like, every highlight reel nudges that ancient part of the brain, telling us that others are gaining something we've lost. Here's a question. Why do we check our phones even when we know it'll make us feel worse? Because FOMO doesn't just trigger fear, it also triggers anticipation. Each notification, each ping, creates a tiny burst of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. That's the same system that keeps gamblers pulling slot machines. It's not the reward itself, it's the possibility of the reward. Something might be happening. Someone might have texted you. Maybe there's something exciting waiting just beyond the next scroll. So ironically, the very tool we use to feel connected is designed to keep us feeling incomplete. Now let's look deeper. There are 3 psychological forces behind FOMO, and understanding them changes everything. First, social comparison theory. In the 1950s, psychologist Leon Festinger said, "We determine our own worth by comparing ourselves to others." That made sense when we only compared ourselves to the handful of people in our village or school. But today, we compare ourselves to millions, the richest, the fittest, the most beautiful, the most successful humans on the planet, all compressed into one infinite scroll. It's not a fair fight. Every comparison chips away at our sense of contentment. And the cruel part? We're comparing our behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. You see someone's smiling vacation photo, but not the argument they had an hour before. You see someone's success, but not the years of doubt and failure behind it. Second, loss aversion. Our brains hate losing more than we love gaining. Psychologists have found that losing 100 feels twice as painful as gaining 100 feels good. So when we see others gaining experiences, connections, or achievements, our mind interprets it as our loss, even if we never wanted it in the first place. It's irrational, but the mind doesn't care. It only senses imbalance. It whispers, "They have it. You don't." Third, the illusion of control. FOMO thrives on the belief that we could or should be everywhere at once. We think if we just managed our time better, made the right choice, we could experience it all. But here's the truth. Every choice in life means missing out on something else. Every yes is 100 quiet no's. You can't avoid missing out. You can only choose what's worth missing out on. That's the paradox of FOMO. It's not about missing out on others, it's about missing out on ourselves. When we're busy chasing every possibility, we forget to actually live the one we're in. Imagine this. You're at a concert. Your favorite band is playing. Everyone's singing, the crowd is electric. But half the audience is watching through their screens, recording a moment they're not even present in. That's modern FOMO in action. We're so afraid of missing the memory that we miss the moment itself. But what if, instead of fearing what we're missing, we started to celebrate what we're experiencing? That shift is called JOMO, the joy of missing out. It's the quiet confidence of knowing you don't have to be everywhere to live fully. You don't have to keep up, you just have to show up. Here's the paradox most people miss. FOMO doesn't come from scarcity. It comes from abundance. We have too many options, too much visibility, and our minds weren't built for that. Every scroll is 1,000 alternate lives you could be living. And that endless possibility, instead of setting us free, makes us anxious, restless, and unsatisfied. You can think of your attention as a currency. Every time you spend it on what others are doing, you have less left for your own life. So the question isn't, what am I missing out on? The real question is, what am I choosing to give my attention to? Let's test something. For the next few seconds, think of one thing you missed recently. Maybe a trip, party, an opportunity. Now ask yourself, did it really change your life not to be there? Probably not. Because what matters most isn't what happens out there. It's what you do with where you are. Psychologists call this selective attention, our ability to focus on what's meaningful. The more intentional you become with your focus, the less room FOMO has to grow. But here's the twist. The opposite of FOMO isn't isolation. It's presence. You don't defeat FOMO by unplugging from the world. You do it by anchoring yourself in the moment you're in. By realizing that right here, right now, this too is a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Every time you check your phone during a conversation, you're sending your brain a message. This isn't enough. And over time, it starts to believe that. But when you slow down, when you give your full attention, you're training your mind to feel complete again. That's how you rewire the loop. You replace fear with focus. You replace missing out with being here. So how do you actually break free from FOMO? Here are 3 small shifts that make a big difference. First, practice intentional disconnection. Take short breaks from constant input. Not as punishment, but as peace. Silence isn't emptiness. It's space for your mind to breathe. Second, redefine success. Ask yourself, what does enough actually look like for me? Not compared to others, but compared to yesterday. Progress, not comparison, is where peace lives. And third, embrace JOMO. When you say no to something, don't think about what you're missing, think about what you're gaining. Time. Focus, presence. That's how you turn missing out into meaning. Here's something to reflect on. In the end, you'll never remember every event you missed, but you will remember the moments you were fully alive for. And none of those required being anywhere else. Maybe the secret to a fulfilled life isn't having every experience, but deeply experiencing the few that truly matter. So next time you feel FOMO creeping in, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what if I'm not missing out? What if I'm exactly where I'm meant to be? Because sometimes, the most extraordinary thing you can do is simply be present for your own life. If you found this eye-opening, subscribe for more calm, insightful tales of the mind. In the next video, we'll explore why your brain confuses busyness with meaning, and how to find peace in a world that never stops moving.